events in the Mediterranean Sea. I think Mediterranean is a sea and not a cemetery. The problem in this moment is the situation on ground in Libya. We discussed about Mr. President or the President. If you think about 91% of the people who come from Africa to Italy come from Libya. So, exactly as 3 years ago, when the people come from Tunisia, because the problem was the lack of stability in Tunisia, today the only way is come back to the peace and stability, the Libyan institutions. Obviously, it's not easy. We work every day to find a solution with the United Nations and then with other partners and friends and allies in the region. But I think the only way is come back to stability in Libya. In this period of transition, Italy is ready to bring responsibility, to make the leadership in every diplomatic and counter-terrorism efforts. But the key point is stop human trafficking in Mediterranean Sea is a priority for everybody in Europe, and for me is absolutely crucial. The words of the President Obama is a priority also for the United States. Stop human trafficking is the only way to give a perspective of justice and also of security, obviously, of course, for the risks of this area. I think there are not problem of clash of religions in Italy. Maybe yesterday, there were one case about it, but the problem is not a problem of clash of religions. It's a problem of human dignity. We are absolutely committed to solve this problem, and I'm confident if this becomes a priority, we achieve a great result.
You just said that Italy is ready to take on its responsibilities in terms of diplomacy and anti-terrorist activities. I would like to ask you, who are the protagonists in this region, the people that should be the interlocutors in order to reach a stability in Libya? And what does anti-terrorist activities mean? Are you ready to send the 5,000 men that you spoke about? How do you intend to do so? And also, perhaps you have the support from President Obama, maybe using drones.
Can we expect anytime soon specific counter-terrorism action of the United States in Libya? And then concerning Russia, President Renzi has been the last G7 leader in Moscow. Do you think it was useful? And did you ask and get any specific commitments for the renewal of the sanction against Russia? Thank you.
Parto dalla questione che lei...
Well, let me talk to you about the question on Libya. I will repeat what I said. Obviously, all the countries in this region are countries that are interested in looking for and finding a solution, barring none. We appreciate the work that certain countries are finally doing in the Mediterranean area, Northern Africa, starting by Egypt. So all the countries are part of this huge undertaking. But please allow me to be very clear. Peace in Libya, either the tribes do this or no one is going to do this. No one is going to achieve this. The only way to reach peace is that the tribes finally accept that they're going to go toward stabilization and peace. And our work is that of looking for this, to favor all this at all levels so that this effort does indeed lead to peace. The diplomatic initiatives you are aware of, they're the ones that we are doing with Bernardino Leon, and they're the ones that the foreign ministers are also trying to support and to study. Obviously, this is not a job that starts in Libya. I would like my Italian journalist friends to understand that Libya, which we consider because they're across from us, they're the main problem, but they're part of a more complex, greater problem that has to do with the risk of terrorist infiltrations in Africa. We are feeling the pain for what happened at the University of Garissa in Kenya, but this regards Africa as a whole, as a continent. A few days ago, we remember that a year has gone by from when some 100 girls were kidnapped by Boko Haram, and remember the hashtag, Bring Back Our Girls. This is a moral imperative for all of us. Therefore, the issue of Libya is something that we have to place in a wider context. The technical solutions, our teams are looking at them every single day, and they're obviously technical solutions in which there is a full awareness, for which there's a full awareness. The United States is next to the United States, Europe is next to the United States in a huge challenge that will bring the troops in our country to spend more months, more time in Afghanistan, much more so than we had thought, because if the coalition with the United States considers that the process has to continue, well, Italy will do its part. Obviously, in terms of the technical solutions that I mentioned, this is not something that has to do with political debates. It has to do with our technical teams, with their expertise. I have to be sure that I have priority and assurance from the United States that this is not something in which Italy is working on its own. I can tell you that as far as we are concerned, the cooperation and the work together with you, both in the natural diplomatic way and in the constant work which is done every single day, which is a job which is done silently, quietly, in everyday life, which takes us to heroism. I'm thinking about the Coast Guards, the men and women that saved those people at sea, that allowed a young woman to give birth on the boat. She was dying, and they saved 2 lives. This is what we want to do, but at the same time, we also have to be fully aware of the fact that the work that we do together is a job that not only regards Libya, but all of Africa, I might say the whole world. And allow me to say this without taking the floor too long. This is a job that we are doing everywhere, from Russia to Latin America, Afghanistan, to the Middle East. The cooperation and work which is done between the United States and Italy is something out of discussion, that cannot be discussed.
We are consistently looking where terrorist threats might emanate, and Libya obviously is an area of great concern. ISIL's been very explicit about wanting to use the chaos inside of Libya as a potential justification for putting some of their personnel there. And so the coordination with Italy and with other of our key partners is going to be very important. We will not be able to solve the problem just with a few drone strikes or a few military operations. You have a country that has been broken into a number of tribal factions. There's some sectarian elements to it, and you don't have a central government that is functioning effectively. So we still have to guard against the use of the territories in Libya as a safe haven for terrorist operations, much in the way we've done with respect to Somalia for many years. But the answer ultimately is to have a government that can control its own borders with us. That's going to take some time. But we will combine counterterrorism efforts in cooperation with Italy and other like-minded nations with a political effort. And we're going to have to encourage some of the countries inside of the Gulf who have, I think, influence over the various factions inside of Libya to be more cooperative themselves. In some cases, you've seen them fan the flames of military conflict rather than try to reduce them. With respect to Russia, Matteo and I agree that we need implementation of Minsk. And I expressed my strong belief that the European Council needs to continue the current sanctions that are in place until we've seen full implementation of the Minsk Agreement. There will be a vote coming up this summer in the European Council, and my expectation is not only Italy, but all countries in Europe will recognize that it would be a wrong message to send to reduce sanctions pressure on Russia when their key implementation steps don't happen until the end of the year. At minimum, we have to maintain the existing sanction levels until we've seen that they've carried out the steps that they're required to under the agreement. One of the things that Matteo and I share, and I think the Italian people and the American people share, is a sense of values and principles that sometimes override political expediency. That's part of our DNA, that's part of our memories because of the history of both our countries. And I think we have to be realistic and practical in how we look at a problem like Ukraine. But we have to also recall that the reason there is a unified and prosperous Europe is because enormous sacrifices were made on behalf of ideals and on behalf of principles. And if those principles of territorial integrity and sovereignty start getting ignored, then that carries a cost for Europe and for the world. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.